Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lifestyle CEO Show. I'm your host, Donna Maria from DonnaMaria.com, and we are here to help you enjoy your life, build your business, and have your way. Welcome to all my replay viewers. I'm so excited that you're here. If you're here live, feel free to drop a comment below. I can see what you're saying. I want to know where you are, who you are, and what you're doing in your life, in your business today, because I am so excited to serve you. So listen, we're doing a series this week all about the top 3 things to think about before you start building a business around your life. And you remember yesterday, our topic was making sure that you clarify what you want your life to look like, right? You absolutely have to do that. You have to be 100% sure about what you want your life to look like so that you can actually build a legitimate business around that. Now, this is not hard, but it does require some focus. It requires you to sit down and get everything else out of your way and really, really focus on this. So I hope that you've done that. If anybody submitted your chart yesterday, I will get in touch with you and make sure that you have the opportunity to choose your prize. So I'll be looking at that in a bit. But we're going to move forward today with step 2, the second most important thing to think about, which is making sure that as you build your business, you are combining the opportunity to pursue a passion or a gift or a talent that you have and make money. Okay, so you need to combine both of those things. And a lot of times creative people, creative entrepreneurs, and we're all creative when we're building something from scratch, right? We're all creative. What happens is we have lots of passion. Like there is so much passion. It's dripping off our shoulders. Everyone can see it. We're so happy about it. We love to talk about our passion. We love to do our passion and engage in our passion. And that's great. And sometimes a passion can be a hobby, and that's where it should stay. And other times a passion can also be a business. So I want you to make sure as you think about your passion, right, that you are thinking about it in terms of something that you love to do. Like, what would you do all day, every day, for free if you could, because you love it so much? Now, this could be a hobby, okay? So I want you to include those things. Like, think about those things. What do you love, 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 love to do? Do you love to knit? Do you love exercise? Is fitness something that really fires you up and makes you passionate? How about cooking? Maybe you like making soap or making body care products. Perhaps you enjoy teaching, like you're a natural teacher. Maybe you like doing hair, right? Maybe you like doing makeup. Maybe you're an esthetician or an aromatherapist, and you love working with essential oils. You love, love, love it. So I want you to think about what you're passionate about. And you can get out a little 3x5 card like this, write passion on one side, and what are you passionate about on the other side? What sorts of things fire you up? And again, they don't have to be doing things like knitting or making something. They can just be ideas that you're passionate about, like, building more water outlets in Africa, or helping children in other parts of the country to have more learning opportunities, or more books, or more shoes, or people in underprivileged areas in America to have access to better educational facilities. Like, what are you super, super passionate about? And make a list of all those things. Like, try not to leave anything out, because if you think about the big picture of your life, you want your life to include all of your passions in some way, right? They won't all turn into businesses. They won't all be, avid hobbies that you spend a ton of time doing. But you want your life to somehow include everything that you love. Somehow you want to make sure that happens. So for example, if you're passionate about art, but you're not an artist, or you don't have time to be an artist, or every time you paint, everything looks awful, right? Because you are not talented in that area, but you love art, then you can still have a passion for art, right? Because you can go to art galleries. You can buy paintings and put them in your home. So you're surrounded by them. You can make friends with artists, maybe join groups with artists, right? Here on Facebook, and be connected to people who are passionate about that as well. So just make sure that you don't eliminate something from this passion list just because you think it's only a hobby, or it's not that important, or it won't turn into a business. Because I believe that in order to have a successful business, in order to have a happy business that leads to a happy life, you need to be engaging somehow in all of your passions in one way or another. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's the thing that everybody likes to think about. And I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it a lot all your life. Surround yourself with your passions, okay? The second thing is you have to make sure when you're considering entrepreneurship anyway, that your passion is going to lead to cash. Like that actually doing your business, doing the thing that you love for a business as opposed to for a hobby or for an occasional endeavor, or a monthly night out for a cooking class or what have you. You want to make sure that you're building a passion for a business that can also generate revenue. Okay, and this is sometimes the hardest pill for people to swallow, and let me tell you why. It happens for two reasons. First of all, it's hard to contemplate if you've never been an entrepreneur, you've never had a business before. It's a challenge to contemplate how you can combine your passion with how you can make money, right? Because this is all new to you. If I'm talking to you and you're brand new to entrepreneurship, it's a little bit daunting, right? Because you're looking around and people are throwing all these entrepreneurial ideas at you, and you should be on Instagram and you should be on Twitter and you should just get started and you should build the plane while you fly it and you should go ahead and just, put something out there and then you can fix it later. And there's some truth to that. But not everyone can do that and not everyone should do that. Okay, so there's a certain level of self-awareness that has to go on when you're building a business. Okay, I know you guys who've been in business for a while, you realize that. Okay, and the more self-aware you are, the better you're able to build the plane as you're flying it. But on the front end, if you're newer, you really want to sit down and contemplate this stuff a little bit more than you would if you had already been in business for 10 years and you just want to give something a whirl and see how it'll work. And if it doesn't work, you know how to shut it down and make it go away. When you're newer to business, it's not that cut and dry. Okay, so I want you to take the time to think about the money, right? How are you going to make money doing what you're passionate about? How are you going to sit down and create profit and loss statements so you know how much money you're spending to run your business, you know how much money's coming in, and you know how much money is left over to pour back into the business and how much money you're going to pay yourself. Okay, so over time, all those things need to happen. Now, lots of entrepreneurs start without paying themselves. I did. I didn't pay myself at first. Like, I just got everything started. I didn't really pay myself. I kind of just took money when I needed it. I was married. My husband had a job. I didn't have a lot of worries at that time. Things ultimately changed, and I did have those concerns. But on the front end, I didn't. So I know what it's like to have a cushion and to just be able to get started. I was thinking about making money. I was very concerned about that, but I also was concerned about my passion. But what I did was I was able to combine the two together. So where they overlap, where the passion overlaps with the money, that's your sweet spot, okay? Right in there. That's where you want to be able to look for the business that's right for you. And there may be more than one, right? Because you may have lots of passions or more than one passion that can form a solid foundation for a revenue stream. Okay, so I want you to remember that. So what you need to do when you find that overlap is you're going to need to make sure that you look inside that overlap and pick one. Okay, pick one. One. Don't start with a bunch, okay, because one will suffer, okay, or two will suffer if you start with more than that. I was just talking to one of our members over in our private community this morning, and she was saying she has 2 revenue streams for the things that she's passionate about, and one is suffering because she doesn't have time for it. And she only had 1 vacation last year, and that was to visit a relative. And so, it's good to visit relatives, but that's not always a vacation, right? So thinking about creating something that you can combine your passion and your ability to generate income is really important, but also being focused is super important as well. So, in a situation where you have 2 income streams and one is just stressing you out and not making much money and it's suffering, then it's probably time to think about what to do about that. Like, do you want to continue that? Well, if it's suffering, probably not. At least you don't want to continue it in the form that it's suffering, right? You want to change it. And so it's not going to change on its own. Something else has to change. And if you're not able to take any kind of a vacation for, more than a 12-month period, then, you probably want to take a look at that and see if maybe you can make some tweaks and some adjustments to fulfill yourself personally and get the break that you need to make the successful income stream even more successful, and maybe put the second one that's quote unquote suffering aside for a bit. Maybe you can, if you can, put it on ice for a minute or two, close it down, maybe just temporarily, just to kind of see, because you can always change it. And that's the other thing that's so great about being an entrepreneur, right? Is that you are in control. You are flying the plane. You can stop the plane. You can turn the plane left. You can turn it right. You can ascend. You can descend. You can flip it over on its side. You can turn on the exhaust thing and make swirls in the sky. You can add a passenger. You can take a passenger off. You can go to this airport. You can go to that airport. Like, you are the pilot. So you get to do what you want to do. So creating the overlap, finding the place where the passion overlaps with the income opportunities is where you want to invest your thinking time. Put your thinking cap on right there in that area and find other people, and this is so easy to do today because we have the internet. Find other people who have done what you want to do in that intersection area. Find them, subscribe to everything they do, watch what they do, see what they sell, see how they sell it, see if they're happy, see if they're making a profit. You can't always, have access to, their actual numbers, but you can have a clue because you can look at what they're doing. And if it's prospering, it's obvious. If it's not, that's also obvious too, right? In today's world where we can see everything. Well, actually, it's not so obvious. Because people can make things look like they're prospering when they're not. But, you can kind of dig around and see what's going on. And to the extent you can see and subscribe and maybe watch their podcast or watch their blog posts and things like that, you can get an idea for how things are going. And so you can then see, okay, maybe it is possible to combine this passion with the ability to generate income. And maybe I would enjoy that because I can set up my business model similar to that person's, put my own stamp on it, and I can get started. Okay, I'm oversimplifying, obviously, but that's the reason why you want to do your research, okay? So I don't want you to just start a business because you found the intersection and tomorrow you're in business. I want you to think about this and do some planning. You've got to do some planning. But make sure that you do that. Okay, so listen, passion and money is a whole lot of fun. But there's a couple of other things I want to share with you that are super important as well. Because the truth is, a lot of people are caught off guard with how much work it is to manage a business. Now, when we look at our Facebook feeds and we see all the sponsored posts with people happily playing with their children at the beach, and people, with their hair flowing in the wind, and they always look perfectly beautiful, and their dresses are lovely, and obviously they've hired a photographer to take pictures of them. That's all super great stuff. But what it does is it hides what it really means to actually do what it takes to run a business. It's not all fluffy and at the beach and hair flowing in the wind and perfect outfits, okay? Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not. A lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes in any successful business, especially if it's run by one person, and maybe there's a team of people, but there's one person, pulling most of the weight and doing all of the creativity and guiding the mothership, right? There's one person doing that. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to grow it. It's a lot of work to be creative in it. It's a lot of work to manage all the different pieces that have to be managed. It's a lot of work to meet with your accountant. It's a lot of work to do your taxes. It's a lot of work to manage your contractors and your employees. And it's a lot of work to make sure that the blog is functioning correctly and all of your marketing is working. Okay, so a lot of people come into business not thinking about that. They don't remember because no one tells them, because they're so busy trying to sell them a program. No one tells them, hey, look, the truth of the matter is passion is great and money is great. But what you need to learn how to be really good at is marketing. Because a lot of people have passion and a lot of people are able to generate income. But because they're not marketing, their message never gets out into the world. Their products never really take off. Their services are never really purchased and fully used by their target customers because they're not marketing. They don't learn how to market. They don't learn how to sell. So we're going to talk about that at the Lifestyle CEO show as well. But getting the passion and getting the income stream idea is important. But I also want you to prepare yourself and understand that most of your time is not going to be spent doing what you love. Okay? A lot of your time is, especially as you grow, you get to do more and more of the things that you love. But a large part of growing your business is marketing. And a lot of times you can overlap the two, like the marketing can be the product and the product can be the marketing. And because of things like Facebook Live and Instagram, that's the case today. So you have a lot of overlap there, more so than we used to when I started. You were either marketing or you were making something and selling it. Right now there's a lot of overlap, and that's a really good thing. But you have to learn how to master that overlap for your particular brand so that when you do combine the marketing and the product or the service that you sell, it is also selling and marketing and sharing and messaging and all of those things combined into one. And that takes practice. That takes a lot of practice, and it takes the ability to embrace the fact that it's not about how awesome you are. It's not about how awesome your products are. It's not about how awesome your services are, because guess what? Someone else is more awesome than you. Someone else has more awesome services than you, and someone else has more awesome products than you, okay? And that's the bottom line. So it's the marketing and the connection with your target audience that's going to get you where you want to be. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I just want you to be aware of those things. It's not just about the passion. It's not just about the money. It's not just about the overlap between those two. That's your foundation. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you build upon that. And what you need to do to build upon that is get that marketing down, okay? And that's an art. It's a skill that you develop over time. And I want you to be ready for it. I don't want you to be surprised by it. And let me tell you, I just can't overstate this. I have worked with so many clients who have said to me, my products are ready. They're awesome. My website's ready. My product photos are done. I've got my, beautiful hair flowing in the wind, pictures of myself. Everything's done. Now, how do I make money? Like, what am I just put it out there? Why aren't people coming to my website? Why aren't people following on Instagram? Why aren't people watching my videos? Well, it's because you're not marketing. Well, yeah, but do I have to market? Like, look at these products. They're great. Yeah, you do have to market, because I can buy those products everywhere. I can buy them at a street corner. I can probably buy some version of them at Walmart. I can get your service everywhere just by Googling, a lot of times for free, or I can watch the video on Instagram. Okay, so you've got to make a connection with people. You've got to be able to do that. And if you don't do that, one of two things is going to happen. You are not going to get enough sales to sustain your business, and you're going to hate it. Okay? And you're going to keep doing it because maybe you're just able to float on the surface. Or the second thing that's going to happen is you're just going to burn out. You're just going to get sick of it. It's not working because you're not working the right things. Okay? It's not working, and you're going to stop. So this is something that I'm very passionate about. After 18 years in business, I understand how this works, and I see it catch a lot of people off guard, and I don't want you to be one of those people. So if you're already in business and you're in the position where it's catching you off guard, that's okay too, because everything is fixable. You know why? Because you will learn to embrace fluidity. That's right, being fluid, okay? Making sure that once you have your structure set up, you are fluid enough to make a change. Your mindset is not, stamped into, something that's unmovable and unchangeable. That you're able to change your mind, and you're able to be fluid and flexible and kind of move a little bit around and go with that flow a little bit. Really, really important for you to be able to do that. So I want you to, write that word down too. Like, when stuff's not working, remember, be fluid. And remember who's driving the car, who's flying the plane. It's you. So when stuff's not working, it's not because stuff's not working. It's because you're not making the changes that will make stuff work. Okay? So everything goes back to you. You've got to accept responsibility for this stuff. It's not your pain in the rear end customers. It's not how much email marketing you have to do. It's not how Instagram is not structuring itself to work with you. It's not how the Facebook algorithm changed. Those aren't the problems. The problem is that your mindset has to wrap itself around the fact that all those things are going to happen. They're beyond your control. What you can control is your passion, how you make your income, and how you market your business, and how you adapt to this fast-paced changing marketplace that we live in today. Okay, so the next thing is dealing with uncertainty. Okay, uncertainty. All right, so there is nothing certain about being in business today. I had someone just yesterday, I was at a dinner meeting, and she said, but how do I know my business will be successful? You don't. Like, how do you know your marriage will be successful? How do you know if you get pregnant, your child won't be born with a health condition? How do you know you won't buy your new house and find out that there's some pipe busted somewhere, right? You have an inspector and maybe they missed it. Okay, you can't rely on everything third party working the way it's supposed to. So you have to remember that part of entrepreneurship is about the risk. It's about the risk. But let me just tell you, you will minimize that risk. You will minimize that risk over and over and over again. If you, did I lose my signal? Oh my goodness, I think I lost my signal here. No, I didn't. I'm still there. Okay. You will minimize that risk over and over and over again if you start right here. If you start with the passion, something you love to do, so that when it's time to change, when it's time to market, you don't mind marketing because you're passionate about what you're talking about. And also that you can generate income. Okay. So if you combine something that you love with not the ability to make money, then you're just doing a hobby, or you're just doing something that you love, and you're not going to be able to sustain yourself financially and have the freedom, flexibility, fun, and family that we talk about here at the Lifestyle CEO Show. Okay? If you find something that's going to generate tons of cash, that's nice. And, to some extent, money can alleviate some of the problems in life, right? It doesn't make you happy, but, let's just face it. The more money you have, the more able you are to handle certain things. But at the end of the day, people that I've talked with, very wealthy people that I've read their biographies, I've listened to their podcasts, I've read their books, I've talked with them. Money is not the thing that makes them happy. What makes them happy and fulfilled is being able to be successful at doing something they love. Like being able to engross themselves in something that makes them super, super happy. And if you can make money at it at the same time and you can design that for yourself, then it's just all the better. It's just all the better. So again, to summarize, remember yesterday, really important to get started with planning your life first. You cannot choose your passions unless you know about your life, right? You have to know what you love. What do you want to surround yourself with? Like I said yesterday, what makes you happy? What makes you passionate? Where do you want to live? What sort of lifestyle do you want to have? And then also your cash, all right? You need to make sure that you're thinking about that as well in terms of planning your life, right? Because if you want to live on a cliff overlooking the San Francisco Bay, then your lifestyle is going to require a whole lot more money than it is if you want to live in, a rural Georgia farm, right? It's going to be a totally different sort of lifestyle. So you need to build a business that's going to surround and support that. And so you're going to need to plan a business that's going to support that, okay? So you're going to have a very different approach depending on what kind of lifestyle you want to have. If you want to be single and you don't want to ever have a partner or a significant other or get married or have children, same thing. Like you have a totally different lifestyle option there than you do if you're going to have all those things, and you're going to have more money at the end of the day, right? Because if you have children, what do they say it costs now? Like $225,000 to raise a child from birth to age 21. Mine are 14 and 16, so I've already spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. But that's the way it goes. A lot of things I could have done with that money if I decided not to have children, but I did. And so I had to structure a business that was going to embrace that and also allow me to take care of myself and save for my future and enjoy my life as well, because my life is not just about my children. It's not just about my spouse. It's not just about our dog and my house. It's about me, right? I want my business and my work every day, something that I do hours and hours of every single weekday. I want that to fulfill me personally. I want it to fulfill me where my passions are concerned, and I want it to fulfill me where my lifestyle desires are concerned, and finances are going to support that. So I want you to think about it in those terms. And tomorrow we're going to talk about a subject that can be a little bit dicey. Tomorrow, May the 11th, I think it is, we're going to talk about the importance of bringing your family members, your significant others into this process, because it's not just about you. It's not just about your passion. It's not just about your money if you live with other people. Now, obviously, if you don't, then, this is a topic that may not be as applicable to you, but you can certainly listen and share it with your friends who might need to hear it. And feel free to do that as well. Invite them to come if this is a topic. But I get this question a lot from people, women in particular, who ask me, my husband is not really supporting my business. And supporting is a loaded term. Like, what does that mean? Like, he's not giving you money? Is he not, hey, Jennifer, he's not giving you money. He's not, he's telling you, that you have to turn off all the lights and go to bed instead of work late. I mean, what does that mean? It means something different. And so your spouse is not supporting your business. You need to define what that means. And we're going to talk about this tomorrow. And I'm going to have some solutions for you. If you feel like you are nervous about talking to your spouse or your significant other about where your business is going and what it is you want to build and how they can help you and how they can participate. Because I'll tell you, your business will rise and fall on whether you love it and whether you're making money at it. But also your business is going to be impacted in a positive way or in a negative way by the people you live with. There is no doubt about this. And I have seen it with my own eyes in my own life, sometimes positively, sometimes not. And I have seen it in other people's lives. It is critical that you cover this, okay? Once you know what you're doing, like you don't want to go talk to your spouse about, gee, I want to start a business, I don't know what I want to do. No, you need to be specific with them about what it is you want to do so they know what they're getting themselves into. But you need to make sure that you cover this on the front end. Again, these are topics that you can cover them later, but if you wait to cover them, you're asking for some heartache, perhaps some emotional setbacks, and perhaps some marital difficulties or some relationship difficulties that you can avoid by dealing with this stuff on the front end. So again, the 3 things we're talking about this week. Number 1, clarify your life. What kind of life do you want to have and how is your business going to support that? What do you envision in that area? Number 2, what we've talked about today is combining the passion and the money, finding that sweet spot and that overlap and then leveraging it. And tomorrow we are going to go deep, deep, deep into how to bring in your spouse, your partner, your significant other into your plans and have them be able to have a say and make a positive contribution in one way or in many ways to what it is that you are attempting to accomplish with your business. So thank you so much for joining. Again, I hope you will comment below. I hope you will share. I really feel like this information is going to help a lot of people to save their businesses before they start and also to restructure their businesses if they've already started and they've kind of hit a rough patch and they're not sure what to do. So if you need some help in this area, I want you to head over to donnamaria.com, click on the Work With Me button at the top of the page and see how you and I can work together to help you build the business of your dreams and structure a business around your lifestyle so you too can be a lifestyle CEO. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.